Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. My husband, male 33, told me, female 28, that he's in love with my sister, female 32. I'm pregnant and I don't know why this is happening to me. Original post. My sister and I had a horrible life growing up, with a passive mother and mistreating stepfather. My sister was my protector and role model, since no one of the adults were. She tried to shift my stepdad's mistreatment on her when he got drunk so he wouldn't hurt me. When she left for college, she let me stay in her bed while she slept on the floor in her student room, the days I managed to run away from home. When I turned 16, she let me move in with her permanently. We never saw our parents again. My husband is very similar to my sister. They're both very calm and kind, both very intelligent. They have the same sense of humor, love the same music, books, movies and games. It's like a weird perverted thing that I found the male version of my sister to fall in love with. They get along very well, and that was so important to me because they're my only family. We got married a year ago after 6 years together, and I'm 27 weeks pregnant now with our first baby. My sister met her boyfriend, male 30, a few years ago. He got along very well with me and my husband, although I always felt that my husband never really liked the guy. When I asked him once why he didn't like him, he got flustered and told me that he didn't know it was noticeable and apologized. He told me he just didn't think he was good enough for her. Her boyfriend proposed to my sister last night. We were just having pizzas and they were having beers at my sister's balcony, and the boyfriend just suddenly went down on his knees and took out a ring. She was very surprised but happy all the same, and said yes. When we went back home, my husband was a little tipsy. He told me he wasn't tired, and that he's going to take one more beer and watch TV, and that I should go to bed. I went back to the living area, and he was sitting there crying. I asked him what's going on, and he told me that he was in love with my sister, has been for years, but that he knew how wrong this was. He told me that he loved me very much, and promised to be a good husband and father to our daughter. He slept on the couch. He's still sleeping now. I'm shocked and full of anxiety. I don't know what to do or how to feel about this. My sister, should I tell her? Nothing can be the same again, but she's my only family and my best friend. And my husband, is this over? I have been so blind, now I see everything. Of course he's in love with her. How could I be shocked now? Can I save this marriage? And my baby, I promised her a better life than the one I had. I promised her kind and loving parents. I can't let her come to this world with estranged parents and new people in their lives. What can I do? Now for the top advice before reading the update. 1. You and your sister's relationship is not impacted by this. She's living her life. You're good. 2. If you really want to save your marriage, you and your husband must go to a marriage counselor. Point blank. You need to work if this is going to last after his pronouncement. 3. If the counselor cannot save things, children know when a relationship is unhealthy, and they will be happier and better in a single-parent home when the parent is happy than in one where there is fighting or drama. I am so sorry you are going through this, but you can break that family pattern of mistreatment, even if you have to do it as a single parent. Just keep reminding yourself that baby's needs come first, and that sometimes that means that you need to prioritize you so that you can be there for baby. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with your third point. Counselors don't save things. They help you realize and work through issues, problems, and situations. It is up to OP and her husband to work through it, and the counselor will help keep them on track. Furthermore, children know a marriage is unhealthy only if the parents display unhealthy behaviors. Not every bad marriage has these clues for kids to pick up on. How many "I was caught blindsided because my dad just came out of the closet and is divorcing my mom" stories do we see on here? You did correctly hit on it during point number 2. The OP and husband must continue to work on this, probably forever. My sister was my protector and role model, since no one of the adults were. She tried to shift my stepdad's mistreatment on her when he got drunk so he wouldn't hurt me. When she left for college, she let me stay in her bed while she slept on the floor in her student room, the days I managed to run away from home. When I turned 16, she let me move in with her permanently. We never saw our parents again. None of this is your sister's fault, not one bit of it. Read back what you wrote. Remember how she fought for you, how she protected you, how she loved you. This is all on your husband. He's the one at fault. He's the one who's been nurturing an unrequited crush for years, instead of either leaving you or dealing with it. He married you and planned a child with you, all while supposedly in love with someone else. This situation is entirely of his making. Your sister shifted your stepdad's harmful behavior from you to her, and your husband couldn't even keep his mouth shut about his feelings. Don't cut off your sister. Don't isolate yourself for a man who would hurt you like this. His confession was selfish. He is not the victim in all of this. I know, I was being so stupid and silly. She hasn't done anything wrong but being kind to me and my husband. I don't know how I could have missed this, and why did he marry me? In hindsight, maybe he never left me just to stay close. How pathetic am I? You're not pathetic. This is not your fault. You trusted the man you love. It's what you're supposed to do. He deceived you. He's in the wrong here. He allowed you to make huge life decisions knowing how he felt. And honestly, I know you believe he's in love with her, but I very much doubt it's love. He's built this up in his head, and the illicit nature no doubt adds to the potency of his feelings. Now for the first update. He is awake now and I have spoken to him. He apologized for hurting me last night. He said that he just felt despair, like he had something very beloved and important in his life that he lost, and he was mourning it. He told me he loved me very much, and he wanted for this to work for us and the baby. I asked him if he loved her more than me, and he said it's just a different type of love. I asked him if he could choose between me or her. He said he'd choose me. I asked him if he thought she was more beautiful, and he said that I'm conventionally more attractive. I asked him if he stayed with me all these years just to be near her. He said I was being unfair to him because he did love me. I asked him if he is okay never seeing her again. He teared up, but then said he would do anything to save this marriage. He then added that he never really had a mother or a female figure in his life. That's probably why he's attached to her, because she is very warm and loving. I asked him, do you love her as a mother figure or do you want to sleep with her? He didn't want to answer. I asked him if he fantasized about her while sleeping with me. He refused to answer at first, and then said, why are you doing this to yourself? I asked him, will he lose interest in me if she's out of our lives and it's just us? He looked like he was thinking about this for the first time, and then he said that he chose me and my baby. He wants to start therapy and counseling because he thinks this marriage is salvageable. Update 2. We had a dinner with my sister and her fiancé. My husband was unusually silent and didn't initiate any talk with my sister, and he barely looked at her. It was a nice dinner. My sister is too happy to notice anything with her engagement and trip tomorrow. Before she went, however, my husband hugged her, longer than usual. He told her he was happy for her and wished her a great trip, all while hugging her. Then he held her hand and told her he didn't congratulate her properly yesterday because he was drunk, and he congratulated her again. He was tearing up again. Then he hugged my sister's fiancé and congratulated him. He was silent on our way home. He told me he loved me when we got back, and that he will do anything to make this work, but that I shouldn't take any decisions while hurt. We are starting couples therapy. I want him to be 100% honest, but he asked me not to tell anyone about his confession because it meant nothing. I told him that I didn't want him around my sister anymore if I would give him a chance. He asked me how this would work when we're always together. She will suspect something, and he doesn't want me to tell her because he's embarrassed. I told him he could just minimize his interactions with her. I told him to sleep on the couch again tonight because I haven't made up my mind about my next move yet, and that until then, it's the couch for him. Good night and thanks for everything, including teaching me how to make bold text. What an exhausting day. Update 3. I'm thankful for everyone who's reaching out asking for any new updates. I just don't think I have information enough to make a new post, but I have gone through all the comments, and thank you. I asked my husband for separation because I need to be on my own to make my decision. We are also starting marriage counseling, whether we stay together or not. I want to know everything that he has been withholding from me. He thinks I'm torturing myself, but he's wrong. I'm tortured with the half-truths, and with marriage counseling, I'm hoping I could get to the bottom of his feelings in a safe environment. He cried when I told him that I wanted to separate. He told me he has lost everything in one day, just because of a drunk confession that meant nothing. He loves me and he wants to be with me. He then suggested that we move away. He has had job offers in other cities on several occasions, and he said this could be our new start. We were renovating the basement this summer to make it a guest room, because our current guest room is being turned into a baby room. He will live in the basement. It has separate entrances, and the mini kitchen is almost finished. I have decided not to tell my sister about any of this. This is my battle in my marriage. I love my sister so much, but I'll be very honest here. I resent her. I'm jealous of her, and I think I have always been jealous of her. She's a way better person than I am. I hate that I never had the chance to return the favor, as she always been perfect and never needed help. I resent that she isn't as angry as I am about the injustice we had to endure. I hate that she's so good to me and my husband. I hate that he sees how much better of a person she is, and I hate that I don't blame for loving her instead of me. Update 4. Hi, I was here about a month ago with my woes about my husband, breaking down and confessing that he was in love with my sister and has been for years. The short version is that we're getting a divorce, and that he doesn't want to have anything to do with our daughter. After my sister's engagement and his confession, He made me a promise that he will love me and that he's going to do all in his power to be a good and loving husband and father. He didn't want me to tell my sister anything because he was embarrassed, and we slowly started to plan a future together in another city. He was already getting a better job offer in the other city, and now he thought it was time to move on. I agreed. We started marriage counseling. I told my sister that we were moving, and she was very distraught, but she as always didn't object and supported me. I don't know if she felt it was weird that my husband wasn't hanging with us anymore, but she never asked. She was probably just busy with her own happiness and the changes in her life. After her vacation, she came home and told me everything. She was pregnant and she was glowing, and that was the reason for this sudden engagement. Her fiancé wants to get married before the baby was born. She asked me to keep it a secret. She probably didn't mean even from my husband, but I kept it a secret anyway, because she was waiting for the second trimester to make the announcement. She finally broke down crying, however, about me moving away when she needed me the most, but then later apologized for being selfish. She understood that we needed to provide the best life for my daughter, including finding better jobs elsewhere. I cried for a whole week. Then a week ago, my husband was in a job interview in the other city, and he was going to stay there for the week to sign a lease to a new apartment. We thought we could try out the new life before selling our house to buy a new one there. Then my sister and her boyfriend made the announcement that they were expecting last Tuesday, the day after my husband's interview. Not 30 minutes later, my husband called me. He was drunk and he was crying and asking if it was true and if I knew. He called me a cruel liar for not telling him. He said it was so unfair. My sister's fiancé was a loser, and he didn't deserve her. Her fiancé is a carpenter and my sister is a pediatrician, and he told me he needed to be alone for a while, so switched off his phone. Friday, he texted me that he didn't want to be with me anymore, and that he didn't want to be in my daughter's life. He was sorry but couldn't do it anymore. If I agreed to free him from his responsibilities as a father, he will leave me the house. I tried calling him, but he had switched off his phone again. I cried all night. Yesterday morning, my sister called me to ask what's up. My husband has asked her to meet up with him because he wanted to tell her something that he couldn't say over the phone, that he was coming on Monday to see her. She asked me what's going on, but I was too tired to tell her anything. She and her fiancé are coming over today, and I will probably need to tell her everything now. Now for some advice before reading the final update. You have to tell her your husband is out of his mind. Not sure what he expects to happen. I'm guessing he's throwing in a Hail Mary to get her to leave her fiancé, to ride off into the sunset with him. I don't see this working out the way he probably is hoping. Regardless, she deserves to know the truth. She's going to feel just as blindsided as you. Your sister seems like a good one, and I'm sure she will hate to see the pain he caused you. Tell her. She needs to know. I will tell her today. You need to tell her. Your husband is nuts, and this could end very badly. She should not meet him alone. Yes, this is how pregnant women end up being unalived. OP's ex should not be alone with her sister. This make me so angry for you. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this while pregnant. By the way, he would owe you a lot more than the house. He owes child support and alimony. Don't let him have his way. Take the house, and then file for alimony and child maintenance. Now for the final update. Hi again. I knew I could count on you for support. My sister was here and I told her everything. I got help from showing her parts of what I have written here, because honestly, I'm too tired to go into details about what I've been going through all these weeks. I told her that my husband was going to call asking to meet her, probably to tell her he loved her, or maybe something more sinister, so she needs to stay away from him. Her fiancé was on the edge of his seat with anger. My sister was just crying and apologizing, and trying to hug and stroke my hair. I hated her touch. I don't know why. I know nothing is her fault. I told my sister that now I had warned her, I want to be on my own for a while, and that I didn't want any contact with any of them. I have been thinking about moving to another city. There's a small town that one of my best high school friends live in after getting married. It's up north and everything is bigger and better and cheaper. I can easily find a small rental until the divorce is final, and I can easily get a job there. If I can manage a place there, I can give birth up there with zero stress. I texted my husband that I've told my sister everything, and that both her and her fiancé aren't happy. He called me an hour later. He apologized and told me he didn't mean to freak her out. He just wanted to see her and say goodbye, but that he won't bother her if she feels scared. He's still the same man and wouldn't let anything happen to her. He didn't even ask about me or my baby. He's staying in the new place and he's starting his new job in September. He thought he would come back to say goodbye before moving to his new city permanently. My sister texted me later that she loved me and that she would stay out of my way if that's what I wanted, but to please not go through with my plans to move. I was wrong in thinking I'm a burden in her life, because she's always needed me as much I needed her, if not more. She would do anything to make it up to me. I didn't answer. I hate it when she's so perfect and kind. F off. I'm so sorry. Please take care of yourself and your daughter. Thank you very much. Also, please don't let your soon-to-be ex poison your relationship with your sister. She's kind and perfect, and that's the kind of love and support you deserve. Not sure why he's judging your sister's husband. He is the only loser in this situation. He has been obsessing about my sister's fiancé and his profession since he met him. I know you resent your sister right now, but please don't push her away. You both need each other in this trying times, especially as you are a single mother. You'll feel all sorts of negativity around her because of your piece of thrash ex-husband, but don't forget it's your ex who did this to you and your sister. Don't let him win even more by breaking you two apart. Strengthen your bond even more now that there's no barrier between you two as sisters, and soon-to-be mothers. Let him know how happy you are without his useless butt. There's no greater best friend than your sister who's been with you through ups and downs. Really wishing you the best, OP. The F off at the end was sad. She doesn't even know who she's angry at.